This week on the W2 Report, Skullgirls and censorship. We discussed why they're wrong in 90 seconds.
This is the W2 Report with Sanji Homura. Here's Sanji.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the W2 Report. I am your host, Sanji Homura. I'm joined by always by Lord Cracker Squirrel and Mr. Vaughn. But before we go into the topic of today's discussion, let us go over the ground rules with Lord Cracker Squirrel.
Rule number 1. Do not be a dick. Don't contact anybody that we're ragging on. Just don't. Rule 2. If by some chance you are confused, please refer to rule number 1.
All right. Today on the W2 Report, we are going to discuss Skullgirls and their absolute insane need to update a 10-year-old game.
Yep.
Well, they're trying to get ahead of the game.
Yeah. That's funny.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Here is what they tweeted out on June 26th, which is about a few short days ago. As part of the global Skullgirls content update, we have adjusted several art assets in Skullgirls Mobile, Skullgirls Second Encore, and the digital art compendium in all platforms. You can read the details and the rationale behind these changes here.
Ah.
And if we click the link, it will take you to this forum where they discuss the paid changes. And you can see 3 main points of why they changed a lot of shit in Skullgirls. And it all starts with allusions to real-world hate groups.
See, here's the actual start of the problems, and I think probably this is the biggest one. Oh, okay, it's the second biggest. If you eliminate the mentions of these hate groups, you're not going to keep people from joining. You're going to drive it underground, and then it's going to come back with a vengeance at some point. And you're not going to, and nobody's going to remember what this was about or why this is a thing, but they're going to get hammered by it anyway. The extreme leftists of today have actually benefited from this.
Right.
From this sort of imposed ignorance.
Wow, what a bunch of numbskulls.
Not everybody on the left. I know a lot of people on the left. They're actually pretty nice people, most of them. However, the extremes of the left, the ones that call the hardcore leftists alt-right, anybody to the right of Karl Marx and those fuckers, they got those people are insane. That's the nature of the animal.
Right. Point 2 of all their changes was character sexualization and agency.
Okay. First off, we're dealing with a game that was that was intended as a cheapo, easy to learn, frickin' fan service fighting game. This is Street Fighter with training wheels.
Yes.
and a
That's
training
my-
motor.
That's my
And,
kind of game, to be fair.
I actually have a copy of this game. I have a copy of Second Encore and their Endless Beta, which they did not update, I might add.
Oh.
And in my opinion, I wouldn't have a problem letting my children, ages almost 9 and 13, play this game. Why? Because it's there. All the important bits are covered. Okay. What is up with that? I know they've got some of them that seem to be a little on the young side, and that's maybe a thing. But the one that I keep hearing everybody bitch about the most is Umbrella, and she's got a really nice little dress. Goes almost to her knees.
I have a dress like that, to be fair. Doesn't quite go down to the knees.
No, it doesn't quite, but it gets more than long enough to keep her bottom half covered. Just in general. Okay.
Very tasteful.
Very tasteful. And it's not like she's showing any major skin. I mean, if knees are your fetish, then yeah, maybe, but no.
If they are, then you just need to stop.
Yes,
Sorry,
I agree.
I'm sorry.
And the third point of all the major changes was racial sensitivity.
My question here becomes, why are you doing this now? Why didn't you work on that 10 years ago? Oh, right. You need to improve your ESG scores.
Well, it's not only that.
BlackRock has dumped ESG, and they were part of the cabal that started that bullshit.
Well, it's not only that. They tweeted out a couple of days later that Skullgirls is back at Evo. And Sony is a big proponent of ESG because they own the freaking tournament.
Actually, it's not Sony turning into an American company headquartered in California. Yeah, that's a thing. If they're not ESG, they're getting they're getting bricks through. Don't use ESG. They're getting bricks through their windows. You don't want them. We don't want them to do that.
No.
At the same time, the Japanese people are feeling absolutely betrayed by Sony, and it only gets worse from there.
Yes. Because they advertised a $5,000 prize pool for the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Which if you broke it down, you get a couple of thousand for the winner and $1,000 for second place, and then it goes down from there.
Way down.
Yeah. However,
considering the competitors are going to have to pay money just to get in.
Right. However, I think this shows the greatest betrayal that a game developer has shown to their audience, to their core audience.
Actually, I beg to differ. Yep. Although this one ranks right near the top, I have to agree with that part. Anybody remember the game Fairy Tale from a couple of years ago? They said they weren't going to do any kind of censorship ever, and they released a day one patch. They put out the game, and then they put out a day one patch adding permanent shadows under skirts.
Oh no!
That was seen as a massive betrayal, and I agree, it was a massive betrayal.
Was it?
Oh yeah, because they swore up one side and down the other that they weren't going to censor, And then they released the game uncensored, where you could get an upskirt shot if you really, really, really tried. And then about 2 hours later, they updated it.
Probably at Sony's
Yeah.
insistence.
I would
Yeah.
know but it wasn't a matter of they censored just the PlayStation version. They censored all the versions everywhere.
Maybe they wanted to appeal to sort of a younger audience.
And no, you're looking at adult anime fans for Fairy Tail.
Ah.
Because that's what it was. That's where it was originally aimed. Adult anime and manga fans.
Well, that's not ideal.
They tried. They did their damnedest to take out 90% of the fan service, and mostly they succeeded. They also did some stuff to the lower part to the lower parts of the women's bodies, so that you couldn't so that it would be a bitch to get it all back.
Oh man.
Wow.
I've been watching the modding Discord for Fairy Tail, and they're still having problems with it years later.
I will say there is one time in a game where I've tried to look up a skirt, and that was actually in Holdfast, Nations at War. And one of the soldiers has a kilt, and I was just curious. I was doing it for science, man. I was going to see if they had underwear underneath the kilt, and I couldn't see it for the life of me. I tried for about an hour, and that's not even an exaggeration.
See, now there's a lot of games that do the no upskirt thing. Usually, they do it by blocking the camera's vertical movement to a set point in which you can't actually get a good view under a skirt, whatever length that happens to be. Usually mid thigh to knee length. But that's where it all is. And honestly, I don't know that I have a problem with that. Never mind that they wreck themselves later on it. The Legend of the Trail series, starting with Cold Steel, is an absolutely classic version, because you've got in the swimming mini games, you can do the whole swimming thing, yippee, and the girls are in tank suits. All the ladies are in tank suits. So if you select if Reed selects as his opponent one of the women, there's your upskirt. They're not actually wearing the skirt. You can see. So,
I guess we could say tanks for that. So.
Yeah, I know, right? So, yeah. But yes, this one here rates right up there, especially since it's been so damn long between then and now. As far as the Evo community tournament, meh. I don't know that they would have done the modifications of gone to that much expense to do it that way, or just for this purpose. It strikes me as silly to spend, how much money? $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 going back and glossing parts out of an old game. And that would be on the cheap side, honestly, because the modifications were fairly extensive.
Well, here is the store page for Skullgirls Second Encore. You notice something very, very right in this situation?
Yeah, it's in your library.
Well, not only that, I actually got the game for free myself, so...
Ah, very good.
I don't know that that's necessarily free. Was that a Humble Bundle? Because I'm pretty sure I got my copy from the Humble Bundle.
Yeah. Close enough to free that That really doesn't matter.
Well,
For the purposes of
we'll
this
just call
discussion.
that an extreme discount.
Yeah. Notice where it says recent reviews.
Overwhelmingly
Overwhelmingly
negative.
negative.
3,987 bits.
Yep.
It's actually not a bad game. It's just that they pulled it stupid, and they should stop doing that.
Well, unfortunately, here's the other side of the argument that we need to discuss right now. Unfortunately, there are some calls for Valve to make an example out of the developer of this game, Hidden Variable Studios, and allowing refunds regardless of how long ago they purchased the game.
Damn.
I remember one YouTuber that I was watching, and they were making the call for Valve to make an example out of Hidden Variable Studios for
Why?
censoring. Now, that being said, however, I completely disagree with the sentiment. Although his heart was in the right place, the sentiment is wrong.
Right. Ultimately it's their project. They can do what the fuck they want with it. But seriously, people, if you're looking to suck up to the ESG folks on the left, they're not going to buy your game anyway.
Right, exactly.
So why piss off the people that actually gave you money and then have to pay out more money because you said you give refunds regardless of how long ago it was? Just why are you shelling out more money that you don't have to?
Well, it wasn't the developers doing this willingly. They were wanting Valve to use the refund policy to send the developers a message, basically.
Okay, first off, where is the money in that for Valve?
There isn't.
Exactly. Actually, no. You know where the money is? It's coming out of their accounts. Because because to refund the entire amount, they have to put the money up front, and their 30% cut on the game is still coming out of their pocket. They lose money if they do that.
Right.
They give you 2 weeks because they have to give you something, they can work that any way they like, but they try and keep the number of refunds down some. And there's a reason I don't typically do that, because if everybody did shit like that, then Valve would go out of business, and we don't want them to do that.
And that would really take the fun out of refund.
Yeah, no.
Now this is
red. Excuse me. It'd be red. Because Valve would be in the red.
I see.
Okay, people calling for Valve to do something here? No, you don't do that. They're not going to, because it doesn't help their bottom line. The people that are swearing they're going to boycott Valve if they don't, Valve doesn't actually need them.
I was going to say, they are
stop buying games on Steam, go to EGS or where the fuck ever, and Valve will probably not miss them unless we're dealing with you'd have to get over about 15 to 20% of its current user base to actually have a significant permanent effect, as Anheuser-Busch and Target have recently learned.
Yes.
Yeah. And if they did this, to be fair, it wouldn't make a massive difference for that reason, yes. But also, as soon as Valve come out with Team Fortress 3, everyone's going to come back.
Well, yeah, because almost every game is released at some point or another on Steam.
Yeah.
Right. And the overwhelming majority that Steam does publish are not published elsewhere. So it's only going to take one game that they really have to play, and they'll
For
be
them
back.
to come back. Yeah.
Okay.
GTA 6.
GTA 6. For those of us who shelled out the money for Hogwarts Legacy, the separate game for Quidditch, that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
But how many people bought Hogwarts Legacy that wouldn't have if that would not have under any circumstances or even been bothered or didn't know about it if the extreme left hadn't freaked the fuck out.
I think everyone still would have done. They still would have bought Hogwarts Legacy on that either way.
Yes, but the sales would not have been nearly as good.
Yes, I agree.
Estimates say that they probably tripled what they would have purchased otherwise. The sell-through rate would have been 3 times what it was.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, a third of what it was. But the left had to freak the fuck out and make a big news story out of it, and guess what?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Would that affect it? Only because the only reason they say that is because wasn't there that whole J.K. Rowling thing, and that didn't cancel
J.K. Rowling again.
Yeah, but then that didn't seem to affect the sales at all, from what I could see. If anything, I think it fueled it.
Believe me, that there was an effect on sales because the estimates were much lower than the reality.
But the reality was it was still one of the top games of the year so far.
Yeah. It was. It's actually still the best-selling game for this year.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I really don't think it would have affected it.
It would. And again, the estimates that they had for it initially were a third of what of the actual sell-through rate. A third. They were thinking, oh yeah, we'll get the diehard Harry Potter fans, the ones that actually want to see this shit. Because I know of at least 5 sales that would not have happened if the left hadn't been hadn't lost their shit.
Right.
I know, because I'm one of them. I had no intention of even looking at Hogwarts Legacy until they freaked out.
Wow. I had no
idea.
And
even then, I bought it for them.
And here's the fun part. You're going to love this bit. Okay. Shit. I had a thought, and then now it's kind of gotten meh. Yeah. Oh, right. I didn't even know Hogwarts Legacy was a thing until they flipped out.
Wait, really?
I had heard about it. I was going, okay, yeah, they'll release it someday. We'll look at it when that happens. I had no idea what the release date was. I had heard the name, but that was it.
Yep.
I had no other information at that time. Because even though I play video games on my channels, I under no circumstances can keep track of every game.
Good grief, spit it out. Yeah, squirrel.
I can't keep track of every game. I hear about a game and go, meh, because I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan. I've read the books.
As a British person, you've massively offended me here, but fair enough.
I was not a huge fan.
Oh, Miss Patty, I do have a funny story for you. Get with me after the live stream.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Is it not live stream friendly?
Oh, it's live stream friendly, but it's
way off topic.
Way off topic.
I don't know. Plumbing can work with Skullgirls. It'll be fine.
I don't even know what the story is about, but it's not gonna get us any closer to done with the topic. We're approaching done with the topic since we're still not there.
So if it's about plumbing, are you saying they should pipe down? Oh. So that was so bad.
Oh, there he is.
All right. I honestly think that this is going to be one of the shorter episodes of the W2 report this week.
No, we're still not. We're still way over our shortest episode. It was one we managed to clear in 10 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the shorter sides because we're barely a half hour in.
We're not even a half hour in. We still got 4 minutes. Ha! So anyway, what do you think of all this, one?
What about the? I mean, I just looked at the comment. I was thinking about a large serpent.
Wait. About the Skullgirls thing. Are we are we on the right track, or have we missed something?
I think I agree with most of what you guys were saying. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they were probably just trying to adjust to the. I don't want to say the snowflake people, like as in meaning it's a thing, but I feel like they were just trying to cover up a few things, which they probably. I don't know. I don't know if they should have done or not. It's not my place to say.
Yes, we're talking.
First of all, I'm not in the audience of the game.
Brigade is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. But I'm not in the audience of Skullgirls. Like, I'm not a massive anime fan. But, it's a difficult one. It really is. And I think it's all down to personal preference, whether they did it right or wrong, I would say.
Damn!
I don't know. I threw a spanner in the works there. I'm sorry.
No, what happened with Harry Potter? I read them. It was competently written. The books got much bigger as time went on. Yeah, somebody started getting paid by the word. Because the first one was like 400 pages, and then from there it just got bigger.
Right. I mean, don't give me the argument that world building isn't a thing. It is.
And she did that. That was the thing she did well.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, I know why you're not big into Harry Potter, Crocoscrew. It's because you're in the new series, aren't you? And playing Albus Dumbledore is Lord Crocoscrew.
Yeah, no.
Oh, damn it! I was close.
I'm not old. I'm not old enough to pull off Albus Dumbledore. My beard's nowhere near there.
I don't know, not the wisdom.
Oh, Patty is a Harry Potter super fan. I understand that it made a shit ton of money because it was a thing that could be enjoyed by the kids, and they had enough of the sly jokes to keep the adults amused while they were reading it.
As one of the kids that enjoyed Harry Potter, I still to this day enjoy it. I rewatch it maybe once a year at least.
I've actually recently reread. I actually reread the series here about a year ago.
Very nice. It's a lot of reading.
That troll was fun.
I have once, but I shouldn't have been in there.
Well, unfortunately, we have derailed this conversation long enough.
The Skullgirls. There we go. Got it back.
Anyway, Vaughn, how old are you? Just decade.
It's very rude to ask someone their age. No, I'm joking. I'm 25. I'm 25.
Okay. That was the age I was when when the Harry Potter books started showing up. I was just about that age. This is about your age.
Oh, fair enough. To be fair, I've got the whole robes and everything, and I've got about 10 wands and stuff. So I'm a bit too much of a fan, some would say.
Anyway,
I want to know what this story's about.
Yeah, come on, Sandy. Let's just hear it anyway.
Let's go offline and then hear it.
All right. Until the next time we see you, beware the tax man cometh.
Anymore. Hello, folks. This is Morgan Freeman. This concludes our broadcast day. I'm Morgan Freeman.